you want to see how I made this sweet, salty, spicy dish from MasterChef's Rhiannon, keep on watching. Start off, we need to get the paste ready for the coconut broth. So I've already gone ahead and chopped up all my ingredients there that I need to pour into the food processor. Also, I couldn't find any coriander roots at the store, but I got some stems in there. It should be alright. Also, I'm going to be adding all of the anchovies out of this can, and we're going to plop them straight into the food processor along with it. Maybe I'll pour a little bit of oil in there with it, just because, you know, that can't be a bad thing. I'm going to bang the lid on and process down to a nice smooth paste. If I can get the lid on, that is. Okay, here we go. As always, you got to give it the customary scrape about halfway through. So once you got it all processed down into a paste like this, I'm going to head to the stove. Okay, so in the recipe, it says to put some grapeseed oil or some other oil in there, but, you know, my anchovies come in oil, so I'm just going to pour the rest of that oil that come out for the can into the pan. You know, waste not, want not, I say. Okay, we'll just let that heat up a little bit. All right, once you've got a little bit of heat in your oil there, we're going to tip that paste in, straight into the pan. Okay, once you've got your paste in there, you're just going to let this cook away on a medium-low heat for about 5 minutes until it starts to caramelize and starts smelling absolutely amazing. So we're going to let this go for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll come back. Just real quick too, make sure you're stirring it quite frequently, because this will stick and burn on the bottom of the pan. So it's been cooking away here for about 4 or 5 minutes, and it's changed colour, and it's smelling pretty damn good in this kitchen. So now we're going to add some chicken stock. As always, correct amounts of ingredients are going to be on the website, traditionalbutnot.com. Along with the chicken stock, we're going to add our coconut cream, which over here, the best one I found is in this bag here, but it seems that I didn't cut the hole big enough. So we're going to cut that a bit more to get it in there. Once you've got your chicken broth and your coconut cream in there, you're just going to turn the heat up, and we're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to reduce the heat, and we're going to let it simmer for about 30 minutes. For the anchovy stuffing that goes under the chicken skin, let me just pull your attention to the chicken here for a minute. In the recipe, she uses just skin-on chicken thighs. Now, I was at the store and I found the chicken thighs, but then I saw this whole leg with the chicken thighs still attached, and I thought, that's also going to be an amazing idea. So I'm going to try that out too. Also, with the chicken thighs, mine were with the bone in. Original recipe, no bone, but I'm going to go with a full bone in. Back on here, so with my anchovies, I picked up some anchovies, and I got a little bit of chili to them, which I think is going to add a nice little touch. Also, she stipulates 16 coriander leaves, and then if you want to go and count them, you can, but I'm thinking that's about 16 there. We don't want any of the garlic skin in there. We'll put that to the side. And we're just going to chop all this together on the board until it comes into a nice paste that we can stuff under the skin of the chicken. So I've got my garlic and stuff all chopped up into a nice little paste there, and now we're going to stuff it under the skin of the chicken. To do this, you just need to go in first with your fingers, and you just want to move it around and make a nice little pocket for the filling to get stuffed into. Yeah, you could also use a teaspoon to do this, I guess, but I find it easier just to not go nice and slowly. Make sure you don't tear the skin, and just create a nice little pocket with your finger. Also, you have this little flap of skin here on the leg that hangs out. Because we're going to get the skin nice and crispy, I'm going to leave that little flap on there. I'm not going to cut it off. So the same thing with the thighs, just on the meat side there. Just want to go ahead. Now with the thighs, try not to go all the way through, because otherwise your filling will probably fall out of one end. So just same thing, go ahead, just loosen the skin up a little bit, and you just grab some of your filling, grab your chicken, go ahead and stuff it under there, and just spread the filling out underneath the skin. Once you got your filling all nicely spread out underneath the skin, we're just going to set these aside until we're ready to cook it. Had this cooking away here for about 30 minutes. As you can see, it's thickened up quite a lot. Most of the moisture has gone, and now it's more of a big thick paste than anything liquid. So now we're going to add what seems to be quite a lot of palm sugar to melt this down. 500 grams to be exact, but to start with, we're going to add a little bit of liquid to help it all melt, which comes in the form of some fish sauce and the juice of a lime. And now we're going to start adding the palm sugar. Now mine comes in these little pucks like this. I'm just going to add in one at a time till it's mostly melted, and stir it until we've got all of this added. And then once I've got it all incorporated and melted down, we'll come back. Okay, I got everything here to go with my salsa. Now I will note one thing, I left the stems on the coriander. It's going to be all chopped up together, and I think it'll be just fine. It'll bring a little bit extra coriander flavour to the dish. We're just going to mix everything together, and we're going to chop everything up until it's like a nice chunky salsa. So with the salsa, you don't want it as smooth as the paste you cut up for the underneath the chicken, so a little bit of chunk like this, I think it's going to be just fine. So we'll get this put to the side until we're ready to use it. So I've had this little broth here on the stove, and all the palm sugar has melted in. It's looking quite good. So from here, I'm I've got another saucepan with a sieve on top, and we're just going to pass it through to catch any of the chunks that are in there. I completely forgot to put lemongrass into this little coconut broth. So it's meant to be added at the very beginning when I blended up all the spices together, but I'm going to just give it a good beating now. I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to stick it in here while we set this aside and keep it warm while we finish off the other things. So we'll just do that. We'll cut it into 2 pieces just so it fits in my pot. So now you want to keep this in a nice warm spot so it stays in a liquid form until you're ready to use it. Okay, next thing to do is we need to get these anchovies ready for frying. In the recipe, it doesn't actually say how to do this, but I'm just going to get the anchovies straight out the can. I just separated them, and I'm just going to give them a light coating of some all-purpose flour. So just do that. Once they're done, back on the plate. We'll get through them and get these all knocked out, and we'll come back. Once the oil's heated up, we'll just tap off the excess as we're putting them into the pan. Got my oil up to temperature. These anchovies, they won't take long to fry. We're just going to put them in until they get a nice golden colour, and then we'll put them off to the paper towel lined plate. We'll probably do them in a couple of batches, just try not to crowd the pan too much. Get about 4 in, and we'll cook these and then we'll carry on with the rest. Okay, once your anchovies got some good colour like that, you're going to move them to a paper towel lined plate, and you're going to carry on cooking the rest. So we're going to get ready to cook the chicken, but we're going to be cooking on the barbecue. To start off, you need to cook the chicken skin down, because we want to get that skin nice and crispy. So we'll head to the barbecue, we'll give it a good spray of oil. Now that I've found some spray oil in Austria to get it all nice and lubed up. And then we're going to start it off skin down, and once the skin's looking nice and crispy, then we'll flip it over and cook it to our desired temperature. Now I'm not going to lie, I got a little worried there when I saw there was half a kilo of palm sugar going into this little syrup, but I think it's going to need it because after tasting a few of the components with all the anchovies, it's quite a salty dish. So let's see how we go here. Dab a little sauce, get a little salsa. Better take another bite just to make sure I'm, can give you a good description of the dish. No, it's just salivating now from all the salt. Everything in this dish ties together. I wanted to add some salt, but obviously with all the anchovies going on here, that is not needed. And with this sauce, by itself, it is so sweet. But when you add it to the chicken, you actually need it to cut through the saltiness of the anchovies. When the judges say that Rhiannon brings the flavors in a big way, she packs it in here in this dish in a massive way. This is a damn good dish.